Cowboys friends, Cowboys fans, Cowboys family, what's going on? It's your boy Footy. Like, I got 2 feet because I play drums, I produce, I make a lot of music. And yo, by the way, I've kind of been like on a Cowboys hiatus, just kind of refreshing. You know, the playoffs was rough. We didn't make it to the show, and now ESPN has been, it's the down season, so they looking for a story with Tony Romo. Where will he go? Of course, we knew that would happen, and just a bunch of stuff here, there, everywhere. But I've been writing a lot of music, producing a lot as well. So make sure you guys check out the Foots Times Coles YouTube channel, Marley in the Mix. That's my main band, and I play with Foots and Coles as my production side project. Just all the music that I do, man, just trying to make it. And of course, I can never stay away from football. Like, I don't watch Atlanta Housewives or Walking Dead or all these shows, or I don't have time. It's really just music, football, church, and do crazy stuff on the weekends. Don't really drink, not a big drinker, don't smoke, but like to just hang out for real, like to just have a good time. So this is a full 7-pick mock draft, and got the notes. And what I did was I used the Fanspeak mock draft simulator. If you want to, go to fanspeak.com, and they have this mock draft simulator. And at first, like, I did it a couple times, and I was like, yo, there's no way this player is going to be here, that player is going to be there. But I had to remind myself every year, good talent slips late in the draft. So us picking 28, you think that you're not going to get a good pick, Cowboys fans, but you really are. Every single year, like, when you guys see my picks, you'll be like, no, there's no way this could happen. Trust me, it could happen, because maybe this guy ran a 4.5 40, or maybe this guy, has a marijuana problem. Lord knows we don't need any more of that on the Cowboys, or maybe this guy, the coaches didn't like him, or, so he had a bad scouting report, or maybe this guy didn't test well, maybe this guy has weight problems. It could be an abundance of things why prospects fall in the draft, but nonetheless, it happens every single year. You can think to a player who just beat us. Aaron Rodgers fell in the draft, fell to pick 24. Bryan fell in the draft. Now, obviously, he had off-the-field issues. Look at Le'Veon Bell, second-round pick. The list goes on and on. Richard Sherman, a fifth-round pick. So the draft will never be a science. It's more of an art. And to me, I'll always say the teams that draft the best, rather, are the teams where their coaching staff, and their scouting department are on the same page. Now, with that being said, they also have to have ownership who understands that you may have to go 3-4 years with taking a lineman or taking a non-sexy pick. It's not always about selling jerseys. It's about building something and building a team, i.e. the Cowboys. Who would have ever thought that Jerry Jones could have been talked out of taking Johnny Manziel? But it's paid dividends. So that's my thing. You look at Pittsburgh, they always have a plan. New England always has a plan. Those are the teams that draft the best. If you look at freaking Cleveland, they always have first-round picks. They always have high first-round picks. Why do they never pan out? They have no plan. They do things last minute. They trade out of their picks. They always change coaching staffs. They don't have a plan, and they're always picking high in the draft. It never fails. So with this, and so the way I went about it was I just went best player available, because to me, even like prime example, the Cowboys have a stellar O-line. It would probably be a reach to draft an O-lineman here, but if the best one would have fell, I may have. You have questions with Doug Free. I don't look at it and say, well, I would never draft here. I'm not one of these guys who goes need either, because you get in trouble when you do that, because you could be passing on a great player. So you never want to go need. You don't want to do those things, because you'll end up like Cleveland. You'll end up like, teams that are always drafting high. So I was sitting there at pick 28, round 1, pick 28. Zack Cunningham fell to me from Vanderbilt, the Vanderbilt linebacker. Now, people were saying, watching this video, well, there's no way that he's going to fall. I have him, honestly, as a top 5 prospect. But what do other teams think about him? Teams are probably going to like Reuben Foster more. Now, I would say this, because those are like the only two, those are the top 2-tier linebackers, and because, the corners in this draft and everything else, and the corners and the wide receivers and how deep it is, and even the running backs. A player like this could get lost in the shuffle. It happens every year. Now, comparing Zack Cunningham and Reuben Foster, similar production, but to me, I look at the teams. Reuben Foster pretty much played on an all-star defense. Zack Cunningham played at Vanderbilt. No shade to my Vanderbilt fans out there, but Vanderbilt's not a great team. However, Zack Cunningham makes plays, can cover extremely well, has great hips, runs well. He gets to the ball. His IQ, football IQ, is amazing. Now, how does he work out for the Cowboys? Well, Sean Lee's playing the week. Sean Lee can easily move back in to the middle. Who knows what's going to happen with Jalen Smith? Imagine those three on the field together. We're in nickel all the time anyway, and he's an asset that could be used in nickel because he can cover so well. I've seen this guy drop back and cover linebackers. I've seen him even shade over and cover wide receivers in the slot. Go watch the tape. Vanderbilt linebacker Zack Cunningham is a problem. I've seen him make goal line stands. Now, there's some people who say he doesn't finish well at the ball. I don't have a problem with it. No, he's not a thumper. But what happens with thumpers in the league, they can't cover running backs out the backfield, and they just have a problem in coverage. Period. They're normally a liability. So to me, if Zack Cunningham was there at pick 28, I love these corners. I love some of these wide receivers, but this would be my pick. So I went there. Round 2, pick 60. Carl Lawson was sitting right there on the board. How this happened, I have no idea. But every year, good talent falls. Easy pick for me. Great first step. The Auburn defensive end, great first step. Converts speed to power very well. He's in that mix of defensive ends with Taco Charlton, Derek Barnett. I have Derek Barnett very high, but teams feel differently about him. The top 2 right now seem to be Myles Garrett and Solomon Thomas, but again, good talent is going to fall. Tim Williams. I know, a lot of Cowboys fans wouldn't want to hear this, but I'm sorry. Just off, pass rush ability alone, and we need pass rush, I know he has the off the field issues, but Tim Williams is a freaking animal. God! But who knows what's going to happen with that. Round 3, pick 28. Now, this is my favorite pick. This is the one that I said I could hang my hat on. Rassul Douglas. Now, the West Virginia 6'2", rangy, long corner. 8 interceptions. His production is amazing. And the thing I like about Rassul Douglas is he plays big. He plays long. He redirects receivers. If he gets beat, he uses his length. So he's not the fastest, quick-footed guy, but he runs very well, and he makes plays on the ball. That's what Dallas is lacking. Think of him as a poor man's Morris Claiborne, but he can actually catch interceptions and make interceptions. At West Virginia, he made plays all over the field. And then when he went to the Senior Bowl just recently, he made plays, and he looked smooth out there. This is a 6'2" receiver. Well, if he can get on these these receivers in the NFC East, and it's a different array of receivers in the NFC East. Some small, the skins like small receivers. Odell Beckham is pretty much, he's well-rounded. He's not the biggest receiver, but if you can get a guy long who could jam, who can make up, who could, use his length to his advantage as a Rassul Douglas does, you may have a good player. This kid is a player. This is the one. This and my next pick are the ones that I said made this draft an extremely good draft. So my next pick, round 4, pick 27 was Artivious Scott from Clemson. Was on the other side of Mike Williams. I watched a lot of his games live. Artivious Scott can play. Now, it doesn't have the top end speed or like the great playmaking ability of the Mike Williams pick of the kid. He's probably going to go in the first round, him and Corey Davis. But he's also a good receiver. You don't know what's going to happen with Terrence Williams. Just like the reason why I picked Rassul Douglas, we don't know who's going to be. Basically, all we have at corner right now is Anthony Brown. We don't know what's going to happen with Carr. A lot of people don't even like Carr. Morris Claiborne can't stay healthy. And what's my other boy's name? And Orlando Scandrick, he can't stay healthy, and he really didn't play that great to me this year. Like, this wasn't a great Orlando Scandrick year. So all we really have right now is Anthony Brown and Morris Claiborne, and who knows what's going to happen with him. I don't see Dallas giving him a bunch of money, so it's Orlando Scandrick. That's scary. So we're definitely in play for a cornerback, but I wouldn't reach for one. As deep as this cornerback class is, I would not reach for one. So Artivious Scott, getting back to him, the Clemson wide receiver, I do believe that he's a player. And you just don't know what's going to happen with Terrence Williams. You always got to factor in injury. Des Bryant's getting up there in age still. Des Bryant probably has about 2 more years at his top level, but you still never know. Bring in the talent. Let's see what happens. Round 6, pick number 27. I went Brian Cox, good defensive end from Florida, developmental player. Keep bringing these guys in, see who sticks. Create the competition there. He's more like a Rod Marinelli guy. He has a good motor, and he played in the SEC. Good player. Now, this next pick, round 7, I took a flyer on Fred Ross, the Mississippi State receiver. I think he's a good player. Him and Dak have some familiarity. I hope I said that right, y'all. Please don't get in my comments and make fun of me. Hopefully him and Dak can get some rapport. Hopefully he can make the team, be a special teams ace. You never know what could happen. And to finish out this draft, obviously this is going to be a special teams, a special team special. Who would have knew, the pun on words. Round 7, pick 28, I went safety Smithson from Kansas. Don't really know much about the player, but again, we need safety help. We don't need safety help, but we do. See, the safety position for the Cowboys is kind of weird. You don't know what's going to happen with Barry Church. Then you have J.J. Wilcox, who we all thought stunk in coverage, and he actually was like our best safety this year. All Jeff Heath does is catch picks, and then, who knows, we may end up moving Byron Jones back to corner. So, why not bring another player in and see if he can play? Hey, Cowboys fans, this is my full 7-pick draft. I'm going to do one of these like once a week, come at it with different scenarios, different ways we could possibly draft, different ways to kind of get you hip and think about these players and what Dallas could do. Because, again, you don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. If they're going to trade up, they're going to trade down. I might do some, use some different scenarios in there. But, hey, let's just see how the board falls. This is how the board fell for me. So, Zack Cunningham, there's no way I'm passing on that type of talent. It's your boy, Footz the King, signing out, man. Peace.